think of organic content as a way to check your pulse, and the patient is evaluating you. If you have no content, that's essentially being asystolic, right? No heartbeat. There's no trust. Is this clinic even alive? What's going on there? And so it's really important to at least have something on there, because if you don't have content, they don't even know if they can trust you. They don't even know if you're a lie.
3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Welcome to the Ketamine Startup Podcast. This is where we talk about how to start up a ketamine infusion clinic, how to market it, and more. In this episode, we're breaking down the medical marketing funnel, a powerful framework that transforms how ketamine clinics attract and convert patients. This comes from a presentation Sam and I gave at the 2025 American Society of Ketamine Physicians, Psychotherapists, and Practitioners Conference, where we shared the exact strategies we used to dominate ketamine clinics near me searches in our market. We cover the 3-layer funnel system of awareness, consideration, and conversion, how to create organic content that builds trust and authority, and why newsletters are the unsung hero of patient retention and referrals. We had a lot of fun giving this presentation and hope you enjoy it too. Now let's jump into the episode. There's a problem with marketing, and I know that you guys are all here. You feel it, you're experiencing it. And one of the problems is the high marketing cost. It's expensive. Running ads online or in person is costly, especially if you're starting out. Also, there's ad restrictions. If there's ketamine in your name on your website, or you're trying to promote ketamine therapy, Google, Meta, aka Facebook, is going to ban you. And so these platforms, they have the control. They can do what they want. It's misguided, but that's kind of how it is right now. And there's also outsourcing pitfalls, right? If you don't have an understanding of marketing, you're relying on individuals that may understand marketing, but not understand the heart-centered, patient-centric way you want to provide treatments.
The two most important functions of a business are innovation and marketing. So we have that innovation side down because we're doing something really cutting edge. But a lot of us, whether, in med school, residency, grad school, we didn't learn the marketing side of it. And so this quote is really powerful, that we need both innovation and marketing. You can come up with the best product, but if people don't know about it, your business is not going to be successful.
So today we're going to share with you what we've been able to accomplish at our clinic. And before we dive into that, we're just going to show you a little bit of what we've accomplished.
So if you were to search ketamine near me and you're in the Palm Springs area, we pretty much dominate that first page of Google. And that's what you want for your clinic. If someone searches ketamine near me, you want your clinic's information to be on that first page. In addition to that, we have a YouTube channel for Reset Ketamine. So back in 2018, it was super slow. I had all this free time, so I just started making videos. And now we have about almost 9,000 followers on our YouTube channel, just providing a ton of educational content organically. We really want to be where our patients are, because that's a lot of how they're going to find us. So whether that's on plus or minus TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, also known as X, you want to be where your patients are. So when they're searching, they can find you.
What you're going to get today, or gain from today's talk, is an understanding of the medical marketing funnel. It's a framework that's actionable to help you understand the marketing journey that your potential patients and potential referring providers go through every time they interact with some form of your content. Then we're going to cover how organic content is the often overlooked clinical vital sign, if you will. And we're going to walk you through how to create high quality, consistent content, how that builds trust and authority. And finally, we're going to pick one piece of content in particular, the newsletter. And we're going to go over how to create a powerful newsletter and how that can continue to foster trust and provide value. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Always provide value for your potential patients and potential referring providers, because not all the providers know about ketamine to the depth that we all do. And with that, let's start talking about the medical marketing funnel. All right, so the medical marketing funnel is this visual representation that your potential patients, potential referring providers go through. So they enter from the top, not knowing anything, and they go through these 3 layers. And as they go down further along the layers, they become more interested, engaged, they get to know you better, they understand you. And those that remain at the end are happy returning patients, good relationships with referring providers.
Let's dive a little bit deeper now. I want you to memorize this mnemonic, ACC, which stands for awareness, consideration, conversion. These are the three layers of the funnel. Think of like with the funnel, kind of like a dating journey in a way where, you get to know someone, then you get to know them a little bit more, then you're actually, maybe getting married at the end of it. We're going to dive into each one in a little bit greater detail.
The first layer is the awareness level. And, what's going on here is potential patients and referring providers. They're either not aware of what ketamine therapy is. So they're trying to, oh, a patient mentioned this, or, oh, a friend had this. And then they're going, oh, well, who's around? Who could provide this for me? Are they going to be a good match for me? Will we vibe and whatnot? And so they're testing the waters. They're trying to get to know you and what's out there. So the type of content that is at this level that you can create, there are like the blogs, videos, podcasts, things that can live on your website that will help with search engine optimization. And that's like key and huge, as you probably all know. And then from that pillar type content, the blogs, the videos, you can make smaller social media content, which then can also indirectly support search engine optimization that you can have on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. This is also where you have your traditional marketing, the ads, the billboards, TV, all that type of stuff. And for referring providers, this is where you could do your traditional kind of like meet and greets or sending out flyers and do presentations, at your local community, medical associations.
Next is the consideration level. And what's happening is here, they're aware of you and your clinic, but they're comparing their options. There may be a ketamine clinic that's near you or another ketamine provider or considering one of these online platforms. So they're just considering it. And they're like thinking, hey, why should I choose you over this next person? Some examples of content that you'd be making in this arena is social media posts, continuing that, having testimonials or reviews, whether that's Google reviews, Yelp reviews, or even just reviews on your website, really showcasing your credentials. And finally, an email newsletter, which we're going to be diving into in a bit.
And then the final level is the conversion level. And what's happening here is they've gotten to know you. They know you exist. They like what they're seeing about you. And so this time they're ready to, push that consultation button, give that phone call. They want to actually meet you in person and get that treatment done. And so at this level, you have it's just continuing down that funnel. So it's that supporting documents, the FAQs. You can also at this level do more promotional things if you want to do discounts, free consultations if you don't traditionally provide free consultations, just things to further promote them to get to you, making it easy, making it frictionless. For providers, it would be, making sure especially if you're coming from a specialty that doesn't have ongoing relationships with providers, sending out patient updates and type of stuff. This is where you really need to lean into that.
So let's bring this all together in this ACC. And what I really want to highlight here is if you want to increase the number of patients, so people reaching the very bottom, what you want to do is increase the top of the funnel. So someone asked me yesterday, hey, I'm currently seeing, I'm working part-time at my ketamine clinic, maybe seeing 10 patients a month. How do I get this to 30? And the answer to that is, well, we know that the bigger the top is, the bigger the bottom is going to be. So, i.e., increase the awareness and know that at each layer, people are going to fall out, and that's okay. That's totally cool. If you're on a dating app, you might meet a bunch of people at a conference here, for example, but you're not going to date everyone. So know that when you increase the funnel, the top, the bottom number is going to increase.
And you want to have people leave the funnel as, you're like, all of us here, we would love everyone to get better. We want to help everyone. But the idea is to find the ideal match, your ideal client, the people that they get it. They know, they like your flavor of unique weirdness or your way of, they like somebody who's really warm, or they want somebody that's much more clinical. You want to have that good match because it's all about that therapeutic alliance. And so already kind of showing it, displaying that with this social media content and your blog starts that process. But now that you got the framework of the medical marketing funnel, we're going to jump into, how organic content fits into all of this. And basically, what is it? Because what's organic? Is it like certified organic, non-Monsanto type of content? How to make it and why is it so vital? What is organic? Okay, organic content provides value to your potential patients. It's on a platform that they are going to be naturally on, and your content is going to pull them in. They're going to be searching for it and they find it. I think that's the biggest thing. Another way to look at it is push versus pull. So going on with that dating analogy, push is like that ad that pops up, right? It's the that person that keeps on asking, "Oh, do you want to go out? Are you free this weekend? What's your phone number?" You didn't ask for it; it just came up in front of you. Pull is, there's somebody that's interested in you. Like we're all interested in some new patients, and so what we do is we make sure we can answer all the questions, all the concerns. And so you make a carousel post, or you have a blog explaining why you may be feeling nauseous, or why ketamine therapy worked for your best friend but not for you. So you're creating this stuff to help them understand. And so they go, oh, how did they know that's what I wanted to, I'm a little more interested. And so they get pulled in, they're attracted to you.
At this point, you might be thinking, great, but what do I talk about? And so here's this Venn diagram. So we got two circles. The one on the left is what your patients want to know. And on the right, what is authentic to you? And where those two circles meet, that's the content that you are making. And we're going to dive deeper into this. What do your patients want to know? Well, they want to know, who are you? Why are you doing this? Why should I trust you? What are the details of the treatment? What are the benefits for me for doing ketamine therapy with you? And they may be curious about, hey, what are just some of the frequently asked questions? Next, we have what is authentic to you? Really leveraging your unique strengths, topics that you're passionate about. So if you're really into yoga or meditation, you want to create content that is something that you're interested in, because then that'll pull that ideal client to you. So really engaging in your interests, your personal experience, your insights, because this is what makes content from generic to really authentic about who you are.
Think about it. You don't buy from like just a nameless brand. You actually buy from a person. And so it's the same thing for this. They're not coming to this faceless clinic. They're actually coming to see who is that person that's going to be there as I go through this healing journey. And so really leaning and sharing stuff that you enjoy, because the key here is not just doing marketing. It is consistency and sustainability, because you're juggling lots of things, right? And you got to be judicious too about what you're willing to share. Some people share everything. Some people share just what they feel comfortable with. But sharing something that you're already interested in, podcasts you already listen to, sports you enjoy, hobbies, that's sustainable. You don't have to think of, oh, how do I got to like start talking about meditating, but I hate meditating. Then don't talk about it. Do things that you're already doing. And actually you'll find yourself, you're playing golf and you're like, oh, wow, I could actually use this putting analogy to explain something. Or there's good days, there's bad days. Oh, I can turn that analogy into something I can share with my patients or make a quick piece of content. Let's see this in action, right? That's all fine and dandy, but what does this look like? And this is how we do it. So we shoot a video. It can be a frequently asked question, why you might feel nauseous after a ketamine treatment. It's just something that we know that patients are asking us, or something that we see, we get like a Google alert that's trending and whatnot. You can either script it or you can have bullet points. And so for Sam, he likes bullet points. And he likes to mix in, I should probably have you tell this, but he likes analogies into meditation. We're in Southern California, so we got our crystals, our woo-woo stuff. And so we lean to stuff that we're already talking about, books that he's reading. And then what we do is then take the transcript from the video and we convert it into a search engine optimized blog. And then we publish it on our website. Then what we do is we cross promote from two platforms. So I take the blog, I have the URL from that, the website, and then I put it into the description of the YouTube video. And then I take the YouTube video and I embedded it into our blog. And then what I do is take from either the blog or the video, we make micro content. I'll either make a carousel post, one of those posts that you swipe through, or a tweet style post. I take a video clip and then I'll post them on various platforms, ideally optimized for each platform, because some have certain hashtags that are allowed. TikTok, who knows if it'll stay or whatnot, but they're fine with the word ketamine. Instagram right now is very flexible, and oddly enough, Facebook's not, but that was different 6 months ago. So you optimize it and you learn, which then brings me to you review the performance. So how did it do? Did people like it? Did people comment? Did people share it? Did it get flagged and I got a warning? And so I need to appeal that. Is it something I want to use again? Or it was good, but the copy didn't make sense. So the words under the post. And did I optimize it for the platform?
So that's great and all, but it seems like a lot of work. Is it really that vital? Well, I think of organic content as a way to check your pulse, and the patient is evaluating you. But if you have no content, that's essentially being asystolic, right? No heartbeat. There's no trust. Is this clinic even alive? What's going on there? And so it's really important to at least have something on there, because if you don't have content, they don't even know if they can trust you. They don't even know if you're alive. Next, we have weak content. So if you have weak content, that's like being really bradycardic. Maybe the heart rate is in the 30s or 40s. So it's really important that the content, again, going back to that Venn diagram, it's a combination of, hey, what's the patient want to know and what is authentic to you? So you need really strong content, not generic stock photos, but maybe you or maybe unique insights that you have. Next, we have inconsistent posting, which is unreliable. It's like atrial fib with RVR, right? It's inconsistent. Like, is this even, real? Like, hey, they were super active for 3 months on Instagram, but then I haven't seen them post for months. What is going on? And when business is slow, a lot of clinics will cut down their marketing expenses. And then that's tells the patients like, hey, maybe something is going on. Something is weird going on there. So really what you want to be is in normal sinus rhythm, consistently creating content to build that trust and really focusing on what is important to the patient. What value am I adding to them?
Hey listeners, this is Kim, and I just want to acknowledge that you're here for a reason. Maybe you're stuck in a cycle of long shifts, feeling a little burnt out, and wondering if there's any other way to practice medicine, especially on your own terms. We've been there, and that's exactly why we created this free checklist, your step-by-step roadmap to starting a ketamine clinic without those costly mistakes. Grab your copy now at www.ketaminestartup.com/checklist. It's completely free because we want you to succeed, not struggle. And hey, if you're driving or mid-workout, don't sweat it. Just check out the show notes for the link when you're ready. And again, that's www.ketaminestartup.com/checklist. Now let's get back to the episode. Let's shift gears and pull one piece of content in particular is the newsletter. If there's anything you take away from today, it's the newsletter. It is like the unsung hero. I just love newsletters, and your patients do too. To really drive the point, we're going to use the master's mnemonic about how powerful the newsletter is as a piece of content. M stands for money saved on marketing. Compared to other traditional marketing efforts, this one has one of the highest return on investments. Back in 2024, the return on investment for emails was $42 for every dollar spent in your marketing efforts. So it has a high return on investment. A is for announcements. Easily notify patients that, change in hours, not open for certain holidays, or guess what? We are open for a holiday. This is the direct way to communicate to them right in their inbox, or alerting or addressing something that may have come up in the media that, your patients may have concern, like with Matthew Perry or whatever next exciting thing in the media that will pop up, as we know it'll eventually do. S stands for sharing information. So this can be, your newsletter isn't just to say, hey, I'm here, come and get your treatment. It's here to share information. It's to share maybe the latest research article that you're excited about, or maybe something that you learned from this weekend or from this conference. T is for trust. Like sharing the information, providing value, showing that you're consistently you're here. You're not a fly-by-night business just to do a treatment and take their money. It's building trust. It is fostering and cultivating that relationship. E is for engagement and retention. It's just like with any friendship, and we all made some new friends and connections, right? To continue to foster that, you have to stay engaged, saying hello, doing the text, doing email, maybe doing a Zoom meetup later. Same thing with the patients. A newsletter is the way you can do that. And then finally, R, that relationship building, just really driving that home. That consistent, valuable information that you provide via your newsletter is something that they could actually forward to a friend. They can say, hey, I found this really interesting. I really like Dr. Smith. They're awesome. Check this out. And one of the hugest ways that you get referrals are by word of mouth, right? By a very happy patient. You changed my life, and they tell their friends. This is one of those ways, a digital marketing way that you can do it is with that simple newsletter.
So at this point, you may be thinking, hey, that's great and all, but I've been procrastinating on doing my newsletter for the past 1 year. So how do I actually create the newsletter? Again, we want to go back to that Venn diagram. What patients want to know, what is authentic to you, finding where those two circles align. And remember, please remember this. Your intention with the newsletter isn't about selling. It's about adding value. Now, the format to make it real, let's use the IBEC format, IBEC, which is a template. The I stands for introduction. So just a real short intro that previews the email and pulls the reader into checking out the rest of it. Because most likely they'll just read the first paragraph. If it's boring, they're just going to delete it or archive it. Next is the body. This is the real meat of the email where you're providing that value to the patients. And then finally, the third one is ending. So just a brief closing, summarizing maybe the key takeaway. And the most important one is the call to action. So if they've read through that email, like you need to have the CTA. What do you want them to do after reading?
And we're going to focus on 2 of the IBEC template in particular today.
Okay, so we have the body, again, always providing value. So you might put in helpful resources for the patient, maybe a YouTube video that you found, maybe that scientific article, maybe some integration tools, maybe some really good books that you've read recently. If you're into blogs, you could send them links to each, maybe 3, 4, 5 blogs and say, hey, check out some of these blogs we've written. And if you really want to, get efficient, you can take a blog that you've already written, summarize it, distill it, repurpose that blog, and send it in the email itself. Next, the other crucial component is the clear call to action. Really keeping it simple. Like it may just be, hey, just reply to this email to say hello, share your thoughts. What do you think about what we've suggested? Maybe, and this is something you want to do very infrequently, maybe you would say, hey, let's schedule a booster. Hey, it's Cyber Monday. You can get a discount or hey, whatever it is. So this would be an opportunity. But I would say less of making the requests and more of providing value, roughly a 10-to-1 ratio.
And everything you make, every marketing effort, piece of content needs to have a clear call to action. Needs to be very clear on what you want the person who has consumed that content to do. And often we use it for engagement. We don't end. Once in a while, we'll have a post or a newsletter, as Sam said, that it says, call now, or, a nicer version of that. But often it's, just hit reply and, let us know how you're doing or which one of these resources resonated with you, So it's really about, again, that relationship, that checking in with them, because I know sometimes we're not sure about what kind of content should I make that patients want. Creating this, having them say, hey, share your thoughts, or what did you think? When they hit that reply, you're getting in real time, real data of this is what they want to know. Make that blog if you like writing. If you like talking, record that podcast, record that video. Just lean into whatever you feel comfortable with. So let's see how this looks on one of our newsletters. This is, I think, from November or October of last year. This is the top of our newsletter. And in this section here is the introduction. Here, Sam is sharing his thoughts about, and Sam writes his newsletters. I just make sure there's no grammar errors. And he's sharing his thoughts about, music and how it relates to ketamine therapy. And one of the tools that we use when we're writing the introduction is thinking about that one patient that we're writing to. So there's that one patient that you're just like, oh man, that was such a good session. Maybe you have a shared interest. You know each other out in the community. And so you write that letter to that one person. Same with making that video. Think of that one person that was like, oh, so-and-so asked me that question. Make that video for them. So when you're talking into the lens of the camera, you're talking to that one person. It comes off so much better than this general, like, oh gosh, I'm talking. Maybe nobody will watch. It'll be awful. Or maybe everyone will watch and that seems awful. So just focus on that one person. Then continuing down on the email, here's the body of the email. We like to do helpful resources. And, another trick to do for a newsletter, if you subscribe to any newsletters that you really enjoy reading, kind of model that. See, how can I tailor that for my patients? So things, if you don't enjoy, that's another thing too. If you don't enjoy reading your own newsletter, you're going to send to your patients, do not send it. If you don't want to read it, somebody else will not want to read it. So it needs to be, if you like it short, keep them short. And then moving down towards the end here, we usually don't do an ending. the call to action can be the ending. Sometimes if you're a writer and you love writing, then go ahead, do that ending to bring it together. But you can do the call to action as the ending.
And one of the things that when I write this email, I literally get so many people responding. And it's so strange because sometimes I'll have seen a patient maybe a year ago and randomly they will respond to this newsletter. Hey, Dr. Ko, I just wanted to let you know, I'm sorry I've been out of touch. I've been super busy. I've been moving. Things are going well in my life. I finally let this person go. And so you get this interesting feedback from people from like 1, 2, 3 years ago that I'm like, I didn't even know that person was thinking about me. So this is a really good way. And again, I'm not saying come back for a booster. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, how are you, dude? Hit reply. Just share your thoughts. And that's really the key. Now, we had talked about reviewing your performance on the organic content. We also want to review your performance on the email stats. This is an example from our clinic. And in particular, I want you to pay attention to 2 metrics. One is the open rate. So how many people actually open the email? And the second one is the click-through rate. So once they got the email, did they actually click any of the links? In our example here, we deliver to 100% of the newsletter and 52% of people actually opened it. Now, what's interesting is a good open rate is anywhere between 17 to 28%. So 52% is quite high. Next, we have the click-through rate, who actually read the email and who clicked an interesting link. And ours here is at 5%. A good click-through rate is anywhere between 2 and 5% is what we expect.
The sun is setting on our talk today. And so what have you gained from joining us today? Well, now you have a working understanding of marketing, utilizing the marketing funnel. You now understand the significance of organic content, and you kind of have a working knowledge and framework on how to create it. And finally, you now understand the power of the newsletter. So if you already have a newsletter, hopefully we have inspired, encouraged you to be more consistent with it. Or if you don't have one at all, just start one.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Ketamine Startup Podcast. If you're more of a visual learner, definitely check out the YouTube version of this episode, where you can see all the slides we referenced, including the marketing funnel diagram and content creation frameworks we discussed. You can find a direct link to the video in the show notes. If you found this episode valuable, we'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps other entrepreneurial medical professionals like you discover the show and grow this community. For show notes for today's episode and more, visit our website at ketaminestartup.com/podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.